This is 1/3. This is episode like 31 or something like that. But this is our first episode out to the public. So we're going to dive in a little bit about what we're going to be talking about, what we're into, and kind of just explain it because it's 1/3 Productions. It's not necessarily a 1/3 podcast. So there's going to be a lot of stuff going down.
Yes, sir.
So let's get right into it. It's kind of hard to explain what this podcast is going to be about for me to explain to you guys because there's 3 people involved. So it's a little bit hard to be like, we're only going to focus on this and that because he brings something completely different. He brings something completely different, and so do I. So that's like the coolest thing about this damn podcast. When I think about 1/3 Podcast, I think about like positive energy and kind of like spreading knowledge. I'm not saying that we're definitely not no doctors. We don't even have no degrees, nothing like that. Not like that means that you're smart, but we're just sharing the information that we learn every single day. And I can speak for myself for that for sure, because if I read something, if I watch a podcast on something, I just come here immediately and share it with you guys. So in like very simple terms, I just want to spread positive energy and help our community out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of kids in Clairview, in Edmonton, in our area that I feel like we can reach. We already do when we're outside, when we're biking, when we're boxing, when we're doing anything. Little kids are drawn to it, and I just feel like we have a little bit of a purpose. You know what I mean? For myself too, like it's just I have a crazy feeling. I'm past the point of being stressed out about the future and about the goals because I'm so goddamn confident in it.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when you guys think 1/3, Jackson, you answer first. When you think 1/3, what do you think?
So when I think 1/3, to me, the main thing is just, what's the word? I want to leave an impact.
I like that.
Just an impact. Like the success doesn't matter, the fame doesn't matter, the money doesn't matter. It's the impact. And I kind of always bring it back to like, I'm very old school, olden days type mentality. You want to etch your name into history. People don't speak about the peasant on the roads. They speak about Julius Caesar, the guy who conquered,
I know what
the
you're
guy who
saying.
left his impact. So that I just kind of want to leave an impact. So when people think 1/3, they're like, oh, 1/3.
Mhm.
They know. An image of us 3 sitting in these 3 chairs pops up in their head.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I just, and above and beyond that, just, yeah, like you said, spread positivity, spread love, spread good vibes, however you view it, however you explain it.
Mhm.
Just bring a brightness into other people's day.
Mhm.
If they're sad, lighten them. Give them a little smile. Give them a little dopamine in that brain.
No, I agree.
It's good time. That's what 1/3 means to me right now. And I mean, it might change, it might develop. Obviously, everybody grows, but
Yeah.
at the moment, that's the best way I could describe it.
What about you? If you were
I
to
think-
think 1/3, as soon as you hear
I think-
1/3, bang, what are you thinking?
For me, like for other people, I don't know. But for me, as soon as you hear 1/3, you hear 3 young ass entrepreneurs
I like it.
trying to make it out this
I like it.
trying to, you know what I'm saying? Grinders. That's what we are. When I hear 1/3, I hear I see three young cats trying to, like Jack said, impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Help people.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny that you said it like that because, like, when you say that, the first image that pops in my head was us 3 doing the M.
That's
For
what I'm
Money
saying.
Team Men.
Yeah,
We're
I
throwing
know,
up the
yeah.
M in school. The teachers are like, what are you
100%.
guys doing throwing it up an M?
And it's
Yeah.
the funniest thing too. I was just about to say because this isn't just the podcast. You know what I mean? This has been like so many different adventures now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
You
saying.
know what I mean?
We're on our 3rd, 4th, 5th try.
You know what I
Right?
mean? Well, but what about you? What do you think?
Well, I want to get into this real quick, like why, and even just go further into the other endeavors. But people are gonna say like, why did you choose a podcast? Because
Mhm.
you could say that the podcast scene is maybe a little saturated. You know, what I
It
mean?
is for sure
Everything's
saturated.
a little bit
Right.
saturated. though.
Everybody and their mom's got a podcast,
That's
but
what I'm
that's a good
saying.
point too, though.
That's what I'm
Everything's
saying.
a little bit saturated. But at the same time, like you said, if we're gonna spread positive and a smile, awareness, people to have a better day or to remember a funny clip, whatever the case, you can never have too much of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're never gonna have too much of that
Mhm.
ever. So if we can just spread positive awareness and whatever the case, we'll be straight.
And I just want to add on to that. Like, we're not just a podcast. For people that think
Yeah.
this might only be a podcast, this is not 1/3 Podcast. This is 1/3 Productions. We do boxing. we do basketball, we do every sport imaginable.
100%.
You're not just going to see podcasts on this channel. It's going to be a little bit of everything. So if you don't want to watch our podcast, maybe that's not your cup of tea, maybe you don't enjoy that, there definitely will be something that you will enjoy in our content at some point.
For sure.
Because we cater to a wide audience.
No, I agree. In a way, you could almost call this a door opener
Mhm.
because it's, like you said, productions. That means it could be anything. We could potentially work on some film production later on
Mhm.
in life, whatever the case. You know what I mean? We want to help anybody create better buildings, apartment buildings, rec centers.
Mhm.
Man, it's crazy. It's wild how that could happen. I watched a clip yesterday about J.R. Smith. He was explaining how he used to spend so much money in a strip club and on jewelry and 60K, 100K, 50K, just blowing cash like that. And I know that sounds like a lot of money to like us. For damn sure, $2,000 is a lot of money to me. But when you're making that amount of money and stuff like that, you can really impact the world like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
250 grand goes a long way when you're going to put that to a good cause.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
You're
know what
not
I'm
wrong.
saying? And there's guys that have 250K like this
Yeah.
coming out the,
Like you said, go to the
Wazoo.
strip club.
yeah, blowing that, throwing ones, like whatever the case. But I want to talk about our previous endeavors. Where did the entrepreneur mindset come from for us? I feel like that's a good way to talk in our first podcast that they're going to see, because this is like our
Mhm.
first main avenue.
Mhm.
Because we definitely had other endeavors, but I mean, I don't think we've ever taken it as seriously as this.
So my entrepreneur mindset, honestly, I would say it came from a little bit from hanging out with you guys.
Mhm.
You know, like just like being around y'all. I feel like that's one thing that honestly like helps you like see more of it, is like if two of your close homies are doing the same thing, you kind of want to jump onto it too. Be like, damn, this is kind of, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like if you're with like two people that drink all the time, you're obviously gonna start drinking too. Do
That's
you
a
know
good
what
point.
I mean?
That's a
Mhm.
good
So
point.
if you're good, like around a good circle,
Guilty
No,
by
that's what
association.
I'm saying, you're gonna want to jump in, right?
For sure.
So that was a little bit. I'd say a little bit also would be like seeing also my parents always working, or like when we first came here, like my dad constantly working. It's like, damn, do you really want to like keep doing that your whole life that you want to live? You know what I mean? Or instead, can actually spend time with your kids or your family, stuff like that. I'd say that's a little bit that kind of impacted me a little bit. It's
Yep.
like I want to be no fucking mechanic for 45 years. No offense, you know what I'm saying?
I understand. That's
Yeah, I don't
completely
wanna do that.
understandable. For sure.
Also, I would say, like a little bit other things would. I'd say those are the two biggest ones. Honestly, hanging out with you guys, just having a good circle, and seeing like different like people's point of views. Because I've seen a lot. Honestly, it's all the same thing. All the same people work the same things basically, and no one is happy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Nobody's happy working the same thing.
I hate to
Like,
laugh about it, but I mean,
like I don't blame him if you're trying to be a doctor, you're trying to be like engineer, like that's good. Like honestly, if you're passionate about it, do your thing. Like I don't take any credit for, like, you guys do your thing, right? But like if you're not happy, you're gonna get a degree and then go work at Timmy's or some shit. It's like, what the hell happened there?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? What happened to the degree?
I understand.
So I feel like that kind of, it's like, yeah, I'm not trying to do that. That's what I'd rather take my risk on being homeless. If you were to give me options like, yo, you try to do your own thing for 10, 15 years and you can try to build something, or you go homeless after, I'd do that, like straight up.
Yeah.
I would not want to.
Yeah.
I would not want to
I like
work.
that.
Work after. You know what I mean?
I like that because
I'll
I
take
can.
the risk.
I think the exact same thing.
That's what I mean. I would take the risk on that.
And that's
Who
a
was-
good segue. We should actually get into that. Like, what
We
do you
should.
what do you think about it?
I'm gonna go into what I think. I just want to ask you real quickly, who was like the first, like, I guess, entrepreneur you seen and was kind of like, maybe not necessarily paved the way for you, but you kind of wanted to copy at least what
Damn,
he
this
had.
is
Like,
kinda
hey,
cool.
he has what I want type thing, or she.
Mm.
Is there
So
one that
kind of
comes
like
to
a
your
role
mind?
model.
It could kind of be like that. It could be even through like a damn Gary Vee on social media,
Yeah,
or it could
I
be
would
somebody
say-
like an owner we ran into a couple times. Who knows?
I don't have one on the top of my head, but that is a good one. I'd have to think.
Let's think about that, and we'll come
Yeah.
back next part too. I'll write that down in my notes. But, what did you ask me?
I was gonna say, like, what's your view on that?
Like where the entrepreneurship came from?
Like, at what age did you start thinking? Did like the shift in your mind change from being kind of constrained to a job and one single craft,
Yep.
or to branch out into many different crafts and or income streams?
Okay. So when I was, I'm gonna go literally right back to day one, just so I can explain it easy for myself. So when I was very little, I wanted to be a soccer player because we played soccer. We love soccer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you want to be a soccer player, and a very big reason was because I saw the money that was able to be made, and they were having fun, doing what they wanted, kind of living a free lifestyle. And my dad was a very, very huge influence in that because he pretty much like told me, man, like don't work type thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because he never really showed me like how do I put this? He never really put it like a way where like chase a passion or do something I love or something like that. I'm not saying that he didn't encourage that kind of stuff, but the main thing he encouraged was live a free lifestyle. You know what I mean? So he was like, you can wake up and do what you want to do if you're in the position where you own something, you created your own brand, company, whatever the case. You know what I mean? And whenever we went somewhere, a restaurant, to the anywhere, he always pointed out like, hey, the owner, he's not, like, you notice he's not working today. He's hanging out with his family. He's doing this, he's doing that. And he got to say that very easily because he worked like super long hours. So he was like, I make good money and stuff, but look how much time I sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I seen that at a very early age, that time and money, people trade them, but I think the trade value is like, it's not there. I personally think getting paid per hour is like the least efficient way to get paid. So going into junior high, we've been homies from the day one. So when we were super duper young, there wasn't really like too much talks about entrepreneurship type stuff because we were like too young to even realize. But when we did get into that, we wanted to start a rental business, right? That was the first one, would you say?
Yep.
So we always had that idea that we wanted to work for ourselves and run something ourselves. But the rental business, that's a badass idea, right? Lots of people do it.
Yeah, we were gonna go get two different apprenticeships, and then that way we could, like, one would be a drywall, one would be a plumber or an electrician, and then you just stack them up. And
Have it all
the less
locked.
the less work you can give to other people, the more money you can rake in your own pocket.
100%.
That wasn't a terrible idea.
It's not a terrible idea, but it takes a lot
Yeah, it
of
does.
labor,
Mhm.
Yeah.
a
Very
long time of
stressed.
work
grinding,
too.
grinding.
Mm-hmm.
A long time of work. I'm not saying the podcast is in a better position that we would have been if we did that, but if we did that coming straight out of high school, we would be like just finishing our schooling type shit.
Yeah, right now.
Like, and that's tough.
But you
No, but
would
we
have
would have
a
been
good
working though. We would have been working.
Yeah,
It's
like
Because
true,
in
but still.
the last 2 years it's half. So
yeah.
It's very true.
we
But
would have been
that's
still
not
making like $40K a year.
That's true, but that's still like, don't get me wrong, but I'm very happy we did not do that because there's no way I
There
could put that much work.
And honestly, like, obviously, thinking back, that was a good idea. But with everything that happened, that would have got just tossed aside.
Yeah.
That's actually a good
Like with
point.
COVID, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
got lost.
that's what I'm saying.
That's a
There
good
would have been
point.
no apprenticeships.
This is probably the most reliable one that you can chase right now.
That's what I mean.
Straight up.
You
The
know what
Oodle
I
Noodle
mean?
over here got closed down. You know that?
What's that one?
The Oodle Noodle by Block Barn, not there no more.
Oh, wow.
It's tough.
See, and that's like big businesses.
That's
And
what I'm
anyways,
saying.
continue.
But yeah, to go back into that, we had that idea from very young. We always wanted to be entrepreneurs, and I don't think that we necessarily knew that it was entrepreneurship at that time. We just wanted to own our own thing and be free. So then we started Money Team Men after. We kind of abandoned that idea about the rental. We started Money Team Men, which is pretty much what this was, but just a blog. Let's all touch on Money Team Men real quick. Like, what do you guys think?
Everybody
guys-
knew it.
What did you guys learn from Money Team Men? Like, let's talk about that. What do you guys think about Money Team Men? You know how we were talking about when we think
Mhm.
of OneThird, what do we think? When we
Mhm.
think of Money Team Men, what do we think? One of you guys go first.
Just a bunch of high school kids trying to do something. How do I think about money?
I would say it was the seed. I'll call that one the seed.
I like
We
that.
actually committed to it, and regardless of whether we actually did make money.
Yeah.
In all honesty, we made more money than we've made from the podcast so
Yeah.
far. We made like $80, and that
It was
doesn't
there.
sound like a lot, but we were getting hundreds of views on
Mhm.
our blogs.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people read my shit. I'm like,
Yeah,
what
bro.
the
All
fuck?
of us were
actually
getting like
Yeah.
100 views per blog post. So that's like dipping your toes in.
It felt good.
We dipped our toesies in. We just didn't commit long enough to it. I will say that we didn't really give it a good shakedown.
Mhm.
We kind of abandoned it a
I
little
felt
early.
like I was an author.
Yeah, straight up.
It did feel good.
Like,
But in saying that, it was just like, yeah, the seed. That's what
I
I
think
would. That's what I would call it.
I think so too. I think that that was our, like you said, the seed. That was the first plan that we went at. Just dove in with a blindfold on. You know what I mean?
I actually, the funny thing is I bought the domain to that in class because I was on my phone on Instagram, and this one guy that I used to follow, he would give courses on how to grow and how to like manage a blog, and I followed one of those courses. I paid for it, and then he had like a free 20% off for the year. So I was like, I was in class. I was like, hey, screw it. Bought it in class, set it all up in class during math class while I'm supposed to be, you know, in school.
In school.
Anyways, and that's how it started. So that's how like spontaneous it was. I didn't think about it at all.
Just boom.
Just seen it. All right, let's go.
Bought it.
Jump in.
That's so funny. Money Team Men, that definitely was the seed. And then that sprouted with all the feedback and like the good, like, I don't know how to say it. Basically just good feedback we were getting from that.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, dude, this is possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think we you know, fucked it up ourselves. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
You know what I mean? A bunch of dumb shit.
I
with it.
myself, I wasn't committed. I didn't have a plan. I didn't really.
We could have done good.
Yo, that could have been like, we could have been still making money off of it.
If I was in the mindset I was today, I'd love to do blogs again eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm actually learning.
And blogs are an easier way to make income than YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's your own website, you can produce the ads. You
That's true
can
too, yeah.
set it all up and make different pay structures.
Yeah, because it's your domain.
Yeah, your domain.
By explaining all of this kind of stuff, it may sound a little bit like disorganized on how we did that, but we just love to try new things out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's almost what I think of
You
when
fail,
I think
you
of
go.
OneThird too. Yeah, we have
You know
so
what I'm
many like fails and losses. I'd
That's what I'm
say
saying. You fail, you go again. Fail, go again. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
one time
Until-
it'll work out.
Yeah, one time it'll work out.
What about your like introduction to entrepreneurship?
So for me, I would say it genuinely started from like a young age, and not necessarily around the mindset of being an entrepreneur, but around the mindset of not having anybody make decisions for me.
I couldn't agree more.
That's really where the main thing is. Like I had a very big problem with authority, a big problem with anybody telling me what to do other than myself and my own voice in my head, right? But that's where it started, and I'd say that from there, from a very young age, I used to do anything for money. I used to clean houses, I used to clean yards, shovel snow. I've done many different types of lawn care, irrigation, all that type of stuff. I used to go house to house after a snowfall and make $100 in that day just shoveling. So like I would say that I've been an entrepreneur since I was like 9.
Mm-hmm.
I've always whenever I needed cash, I've gone out and I've made that cash.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a job majority of the time. So that's like, and I guess like what age can you get a job?
14?
That's the 14.
Pretty sure.
So like I guess that was part of the problem as well, because I couldn't go get a job and I needed cash, so I was forced to come up with different ways to make cash.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the seed. And obviously we already went into our ideas as a rental business, and that came from Darren, my brother's dad, and he has his own rental business, and I see the lifestyle that he makes, and I wouldn't call him an entrepreneur, but he definitely is an entrepreneur in a way that he works for himself and he decides the hours.
He owns his own business.
He owns his own business, but on the flip side of that, he does still have the little bit of a closed mindset when it comes to more entrepreneurial ideas. Like he doesn't feel the need to expand his business. He's good with it just as himself. And an entrepreneur would look to scale a business like that and make it so profitable that you wouldn't have to work. So in that sense, he doesn't really have that part of the mindset, but he does try, and that is his own attempt. So in my mind, that was one of the easiest ways that I seen, because that was in my life. And then after that, I would say the one, and I want to go back to what you said. I know it sounds a little bit disorganized, but when you said who kind of like what entrepreneur kind of led you down that road, or at what point, and I would say that when we were in ME, I took this one business class, and that was on career day, and I wish I remembered his name. I'm gonna bring his name for the next podcast, or we'll edit it in.
It's
but
somewhere.
it was that one Asian businessman that he came,
Excuse me.
and I was sitting in his class, and I was looking around, and a lot of the people in his class, I could tell that they were workers at heart, you know.
Yeah.
Like I could see the things that they were looking at him, and they were kind of a little confused at the way that he went about things and the way that he explained things. But the moment I saw him talk and explain, I knew. I just knew. I just stared at him, and I already felt in my being that was what I wanted to pursue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And what exactly did he do?
So he created his own business.
What kind of business?
I don't remember. It was 4 years ago, obviously, so it's a little bit hazy. But I know that he created his own business and it failed for many, many years. And he created a 5-year plan. So he created his business at the beginning of the 5 years, and it failed for 4.5 years, and he was almost bankrupt. And then the last 2 months, an overseas investor seen it, invested in it, and then it exploded. Wow. And at the end of the 5 years, he was now free. He never had to work again. I know that on the start of his career, before that 5-year plan, he went to business school. He flipped. He bought one of the first that really fancy coffee shop, First Cup.
Oh, second cup.
First cup. Yeah. So yeah, he bought one of those franchises when they were very, very new Edmonton. Like he was the very first one to bought it. Then he flipped it for double his money, and then that's kind of where the capital started.
Where did he get that money from? I wonder.
So his family's a little bit wealthier.
Oh, I understand.
So he had a little bit of a loan, but him and his sister went in it together. So they both borrowed a little bit of money, had a little bit of money. So that does help.
I would get a franchise. I would buy a franchise.
The only thing with the franchise is like you just do need a lot of income.
Yeah, you do.
That is the only thing.
But if you got that, why not?
You're right. It's a safer option for sure. And then from there, we went into Money Team Men. And from Money Team Men, I learned that this lifestyle definitely isn't for everybody. It definitely isn't easy in any sense.
Not easy.
And you pay for it. Obviously, later in life, it becomes easy. But in the moment, you pay for it. And you pay for it every minute. You pay for it every second, every hour of the day.
Oh my
It's not an easy trip, and it's not easy mentally or physically.
That's what I was just about to say.
And that was the wake-up call. That was really the start of it, and I realized that you really do need to commit more into it if you want to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
You do both mentally and time.
Also, you went through some schemes.
I don't really say so.
Pyramid schemes.
I learned from every single experience I had. I learned something.
Yeah, we definitely learned.
So like you say that was a pyramid scheme, but they did teach you a lot.
What did they teach me?
I learned a lot.
That's what I'm saying. You did learn about business.
They're basically rubbing in your face. You guys want to be successful? Buy my course.
They kind of do rub it in the face, but
a little bit
with like what they got. But we did learn a bit about like goal setting.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it was like another reassuring.
I've had that before we went in there.
No, I don't think you did.
Come on.
They forced you to read more books. They forced you to educate yourself on that lifestyle.
Solomon's pretty cool. The only person.
They were training you to live a lifestyle that entrepreneurs live.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing. And they were obviously they had a thing that they were selling to do that. But at the end of the day, they were teaching you life skills that every entrepreneur has.
It's true.
So that was the trade-off.
And I think the longer we stayed there, the longer we would have got brainwashed.
I don't know, bro.
They were
like I had a chum bucket on my head.
Whatever you say about DJ, he's definitely a successful individual.
For sure, but all I'm saying is because of the pyramid scheme. You don't make money unless people are under you in a situation like that.
Yeah.
If you don't have people under you, you don't make money.
I'm just saying, y'all.
Our main mission, they said, hey, go find people.
I'm just saying, y'all, if they come up to you with that Amway stuff, just don't do it.
I agree with what Jack's saying.
Learn what you can from every situation. That's all I'm saying.
If you guys ever seen this in the scene in SpongeBob where he has the chum buckets in all their head because they're all brainwashed, that's what it feels like, y'all.
The chum bucket.
Oh my gosh.
Be careful.
Golly,
but anyways,
that's funny.
Continue.
That's where we are. Like, that was the last kind of entrepreneur thing that we looked into before starting this a year and a half ago, and we've come a long way in a year and a half. I mean, you guys will see our early podcasts. At the Black Table, we'll call them Black Table Podcasts.
Cue the montage.
What's up, guys? This OneThird. We're live.
That's hilarious. But yeah, like I was saying, man.
Snack time with the show. Hey, dog.
Yeah, this dude's always munching.
Always munching.
Every time. Where'd it come from?
This is OneThird Podcast, baby.
Tyson.
Bashar.
Jackson.
OneThird. Live.
We had the Black Table Talks, man. No, but seriously, it was.
We should have named it that.
We should have.
What the fuck?
Seriously.
Black Table
It was
Talk. It was the toes in.
It was the toes in. And this, like we were saying, this whole description of it is so hard to like break it down and explain without sitting down and mapping exactly what we're gonna say. But we just mean to say is that I want to chase my dreams. That's it. I want to chase my dreams. I want to do what I'm passionate about. And in the midst of doing what I'm passionate about, I want to be able to like be in service of people. You know what I mean? If I could give a couple people some helping hand while I'm living the life I want to, which is just free. I don't have to be a millionaire or whatever the case. Obviously, I want to be crazy. You know what I mean? On some Elon Musk shit, but I just want to be a free man.
And see, I think that's a good segue into like. So we talked a little bit about what 1/3 is to us, what it means to each of us individually, and obviously it's kind of obvious what it means to us three as a team. Like we as a team want to be successful as much as we individually want to be successful. But I just want to talk about like what is like the purpose of 1/3? What is our purpose? Everybody needs a purpose in life, regardless of what you are doing with your life, whether you want to work as a doctor or you want to work as a carpenter. You need a purpose. You need a purpose to get you out of bed. So what's our
My
purpose?
is to be free. My purpose.
Just be free. Just be like a happy,
free man,
happy, free, peaceful.
Happy mindset, mental health, physically free, mentally free. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Everything just under control. You know what I mean?
I understand. I'm not gonna lie. If I think about like where 1/3 will be in 5 years or whatever the case, I see some really cool things happening, man. Like I don't know why, I just see myself like in us 1/3 holding like charitable organizations where maybe we're having like a big soccer game and there's 500 people that show up, and you know what I mean, and maybe some boxing events. Maybe we can do anything, man. Cool, like marathons. Like I just want to do all that kind of stuff. I want to get our community involved and give them an opportunity. And the youngins, more specifically, obviously I want to influence as many older people as we can, but it's super hard to tell somebody who's in the middle of their life to say, hey, go chase your dreams, because they're like, obviously I want to chase my dreams, but they can't take the risk because they already have all the stuff, like the mortgage and all the payments and whatever the case, right? They already are committed to something. But for the youngins that haven't started yet, you can be anything you want to be. And that's why I want to get this message across. Because if we're 3 normal dudes show up holding an event dressed like how we're dressed, just normal, carrying good energy, and be like, damn, that's attainable. Like I see him. He lives a normal life. He just works out, does his thing, happy, cool guy. Like that's what I want, because there's nobody in our community that's like that.
I want to add on to that a little bit. I want to say that like if you are in the older stages of your life, you can still do it. As hard as it will be, at the end of the day, you could sell your house, move into a van, live off as least income as you wanted to, and pursue your dream. There's stories of many different people who lived in their car for many years until they became successful.
It's true.
So I just wanted to point that out there. Anybody at any age can pursue their dream. As long as you have the will and you're willing to suffer the consequences on the way there, do it.
No, I agree with that. Like you said, and that's honestly what it would take. You have to go off the deep end.
Yep, literally.
You can't just start a little side gig and do it an hour every night. That's not going to work, man.
You gotta fail.
12 hours a day, every day until you succeed.
Yep, put your life towards it. And that's what I'm realizing with the podcast too. But I just wanted to add this one more thing before I ask you the question, Bashar. But I watched a Kevin Gates interview, and it was an older lady who asked him, like, hey, how do I not necessarily become successful, but like chase my dreams and be happy and be passionate? And there's a job that she was at, but there was an opportunity for her to start her own business or something like that, and whatever the case. And she was basically asking Kevin Gates, should I start it or should I stay with a more secure job? You know what I mean? And he was saying that that's the reason why he decided to do music, and he decided to start his own company, and the whole entrepreneurship side that he went on is because every single day he would have worked and went to that job, he would have died on the inside thinking, what if I only tried? You know what I mean? What if I only tried every single day? What am I sticking here for? Measly benefits? Measly 50, 60, 70 grand a year? Are you serious? Are you for real? I know that it's easy for me to say, right? Because I'm not in a position. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have a car payment. I don't have this. I don't have that. But are you serious? That's what we're living for right now? Like, I can't get more passionate about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do what I want to do until the day that I die, regardless about how much money I'm making. You know what I mean? The measly benefits, measly 25, 35, 45 bucks an hour. Keep it. Keep it, because that's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because when you talk like that, I have one story, and this is going to be a little bit of a tangent, but I kind of thought about it earlier, and it's just just goes to show that the mindset that we've had since we were super little. So this is a little story, and we were camping. So a little backstory. I go camping with my brother's family. They own 165-acre acreage. So we go there and we camp, and they have parties with a bunch of individuals that I wouldn't necessarily know because they're a part of like the family's kids. So and they're all like 22s, 25s. So there's that like mid 20 to 30 age, and I was at one of them, and I was sitting next to this lady. And she was older, obviously. Had got a pretty good job recently, and so she had bought a new Lexus for like 50, 60K. And I just remember having a conversation with her, and I was asking her, I was like, so like, why did you buy the Lexus? And she just looked at me, and she's like, 'cause why not? And I was like, 'cause you don't need to spend $40,000 on a car, get a loan that forces you to work so that you can pay for that loan just to feel nice in the car. And she just couldn't wrap her mind around that.
Yeah.
Like, she couldn't wrap her mind around the idea of suffering a little bit, buying that Pontiac Vibe or that Honda Civic, the $2,000 little rust bucket, and running that for a couple of years. Like, she, in her head, when she got a job, she had to treat herself. She had to incur that debt.
Yeah, she ain't the only one.
That's what I'm saying. And you're not wrong, but that's like, in my head, I didn't understand that. And I was like 9 years old. And I just remember thinking, I'm like, that's just the dumbest mindset. Like, why would you make your life harder by incurring more debt that's just useless? Like, that car gets you to point A and B the same as the $2,000 car.
I understand.
A little bit more reliable.
It's just the.
And that brings me to like my point of view. Like, I just want to avoid that.
Yeah.
At all costs. I would say that's my purpose. Don't be locked in. Don't have other people make decisions for you.
Yeah.
You're living your life. Make your decisions. If you have to bend to somebody else's will, you're not living. You're living somebody else's life. That's why if they can tell you what to do and you have to listen to them, you're not living your own decisions.
No, I agree. A lot of people are doing stuff that they're forced to do.
Yep.
A lot of people aren't doing stuff that they want to do every day. They're forced to do.
And that's my
stuff
purpose. Do something you want to do
every single day. Don't be forced
Chase
to
your
do nothing.
dreams.
All of us have different reasons for why we do what we do.
And there's
Have to do it. We have to get to the end. Because if we don't, we lacked.
100%. And
we
if
don't,
we were
I'm dead.
Oh, my bad. God damn.
If we don't, I ain't surviving.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't either.
I'd rather die than work a 9 to 5. I tell my parents that all the
I
time.
tell my parents that too.
I'm moving this. I'll buy a van, buy a school bus, renovate that.
Me too.
Bro, I'll literally
just
just disappear off the grid, go live in the forest. Son, you ain't gonna see anything.
You can't do that.
Yes, you can.
It's just
You think you can.
legally, like
You
I don't
can.
think you can.
You can, trust me. If you wanted to, you could.
You could.
You
but
could. If you wanted to, at the end of the day, if you really wanted to drop all ties with society, there's nothing stopping you.
I would still want to do this though. That's the only thing is that I wouldn't want to go off the grid. I'd want to live like.
No,
a
I'm just
simplistic
saying in
lifestyle
like 15,
recording.
20 years, if this doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to drop the
15, 20
grid.
years, we ain't doing that. Something's going wrong. I'll tell you
It's
that.
going wrong, for sure.
You should been catch that.
But yeah, it's
Okay.
just a chase your dreams. You know what I mean?
Chase your dreams.
There's not many people that are from our city that did it, so it's hard to see it. It kind of when
That's
we
good though, because then
more
if
room,
a little
right?
bit more room, more people get up there, they're gonna want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
That's
The
what
biggest one I could think of right now, like, is Alfonso.
Yeah, me too. Obviously, I think there's obviously successful people, business people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That we don't know.
but like
But-
they're not making an impact.
No, they're not making an impact.
Yeah,
they're
they're-
doing it
they're-
for themselves.
Their name isn't etched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
They're
etched.
etched for themselves.
Yeah.
100%. We're gonna have to go through that everything Alfonso went through. Imagine how many people told him
He wasn't.
you're gonna be you're gonna play for a German professional team. You're gonna
Nice.
play over in Europe, or you're from Canada, buddy.
Nah,
You know how many
bro.
people told him that?
And there was also
Fuck
a
that.
good handful of people that tell him, "Yo, do it."
The
Yeah,
only
good
time-
support system too, yeah.
Everybody who witnessed, if you witnessed him play soccer, you knew.
I know what you're saying. But
If you witnessed, if you were truly there when he was actually performing,
Mhm.
like not just practicing, but actually, like you seen in his eyes how much heart he has, you knew. There was no doubt he was going somewhere. No, everybody knew.
Mhm.
And if you didn't know, it's because you didn't watch.
Know
Like
what I'm
you,
saying, but
you
it was
didn't
easy
see
for
him when he was
everybody.
truly passionate.
I agree with you, but it was easy for everybody to point the finger and say, "No, you can't."
You're
do
right,
that."
because that is statistically, it's hard.
Odds are
Excuse me.
high.
0.001%.
like you were saying, the people who aren't actually there and the coaches, the teammates,
He streams now.
all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff.
Streams FIFA on Twitch. He gets
I'm-
like fucking 3,000 viewers.
Yeah, Alfonso's doing well, man. I'm very. That's motivation for myself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To see somebody from our city that did it. I wonder if you'd ever be down to, when we ever get bigger, to do something for that. You know what I mean?
Who knows?
Like contact JD Bracco and be like, hey man, let's do something.
We still talk to him, and he still talks to me.
Really?
Yeah, he still talks. They hang out.
That's cool though.
I mean, you know,
That's cool.
One person, the other person.
No, I know what you're saying.
You know,
I know what you're
it'll come
saying.
around.
I want stuff
I
to.
like how you whispered that. Like, it's
I
on
want
the
stuff to
down
be.
low.
I want stuff to be super genuine. You know what I mean?
Like, it's on the down low.
All the
That's
time,
fun.
yo, give me his number.
I want
Give
him-
me his number.
I would want him to see the podcast and be like, damn, that's some individuals that I mess
He
with.
probably know you guys for sure.
Yeah, he'll recognize, but
Yeah.
I don't think he would recognize me.
bro, if you're like, I'm Jackson George, he'll be like, oh, what up?
Yeah, he'll definitely
Really?
know who I am too.
100%.
I don't know.
Depending on the people that he's with, I don't know. I think that Alfonso's probably an amazing dude, but I'm just saying, depending on the people that he was with in the rec center, people would probably be bombarding him. But I think if we were to see him at the rec center working out,
He definitely
I would say, yo,
up.
what's up?
Really?
And shake his damn head.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you think he would
100%.
actually like know your name?
Yes.
If he seen you?
100%.
And probably Tyson for sure.
For sure. And you too.
I don't know.
You didn't see him too much,
I
eh?
didn't see him too much. I seen that
Dude,
youth night
I
down
don't know.
up.
I played soccer with this guy for some
Yeah.
time.
He
Yeah, I
definitely
never.
know who
I
you
played soccer
are.
with him for only like
He'll
1
definitely
year.
know like Tegan, Keon, all these guys.
He knows all of them, man.
Yeah.
He'll know you too, 100%.
Yeah, maybe. Who
People
knows?
forget that shit.
At
That's
the end of the
his-
day, who knows?
That's his like childhood.
where he grew up. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Who knows?
Strikers extreme, all that. But I just mean to say, I'm just so passionate about it, man. We explained where the entrepreneurship mindset came from and the other endeavors that we've had, but we were saying at the beginning of the pod that this is OneThird Productions, not just a podcast. Although the podcast is going to be like the main content for now and where most like the learning and even interaction happens and stuff, but we got a lot of hobbies that we do, and we're thinking about posting all of them. We're not going to just attack one niche or something like that. I think that we're going to go after everything. So let's get into what else we have to offer. There's going to be a lot of sparring footage
That'd probably be number 2.
for
A
sure.
lot of sparring.
Let us know what you guys think about that, because we're thinking about going to like rec centers or I don't know, maybe parks, popular parks, something where we can get like some live audience,
Footage.
I guess.
And potentially set up some, Friday night boxing match.
We just want to spread that's like spreading positivity, isn't it? With the sparring and stuff. I think that we should try and get as many people live as we can, because they might not know what OneThird is because of the YouTube, but then we can like start to spread it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then what if like the rec centers, or they're all ran by the city, right? Or some rec centers or some parks or something like that started to notice like, hey, there's these group of guys that keep going around and a lot of people watch, and whatever the case, like I feel like that's how that stuff starts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're not just gonna we're
Get a
not no
little
professional
maybe go on the
boxers.
news, you know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you.
Go on the news for what?
What do you mean?
Like,
They're gonna
yeah.
be like, oh, that's super cool. You guys are boxing out here. What is?
They do shit like that?
Hell yeah, they
Hell
probably come
yeah.
probably do a little interview.
Damn.
But when's the
Interview
last?
us.
When's the last group of kids that went out somewhere and like did some cool shit like that?
Never.
That's what I'm saying.
I've never heard of a news station going to something like that.
Dude, let's attack it.
Have to.
We play all sports. You guys are probably gonna see some basketball in with that as well.
Maybe some cool experience stuff. Maybe we go
Biking.
biking, quadding.
Yeah, a bunch of different. Probably gonna see
Jackson's
some.
falling in a bunch of dirt water.
You can do that. I'm gonna do it too. Okay, go ahead, yeah. If you wanna get wild, go do the water. What's the worst thing that happened? We walk it out? Yeah, do it for the cam, buddy. I think that's deep as fuck. I don't think he's gonna make it. Just gotta lift this bitch up. Help. Pull me up. Hold your toes.
You guys have that video still?
Little stuff like
Post
that.
that clip. That's funny.
Cool little shit. When we go out, like do some fun stuff, we'll record it. For
And
y'all.
also, like, for everybody who is kind of more into video games, we also game. Me and Bashar.
Yeah, we do.
So
we
you
are
might
content creators,
you might see a little bit of gaming in this channel.
100%.
Maybe some different events might happen in this channel.
That too.
We could do events for every single aspect of what we do. We have so many hobbies, we couldn't even list them all in this podcast if we wanted to.
The opportunities are literally endless. We want to attack as many avenues as we possibly can. It's literally, with everything we're doing, we're spreading awareness.
Yeah,
like
that boy
positive
makes
awareness,
that
sorry.
boy makes fucking bank now. Before he used to do Amazon gift card tournaments. You know what I'm saying? Now look what it's at. It's 50K tournament now from Amazon gift cards. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. $100 gift card to 50K.
That's what I'm saying.
It happens, man. That's the coolest thing. And stories like that is just that's who motivates me, because at the end of the day, I don't mean to sound like repetitive, but chase your dreams. Anything is possible, man. If you put enough work in, it will happen. I would way rather invest 5, 10, 15 years into myself and not have a roof. I'm able to make as much money and able to have as much free time as I possibly can. Maybe I don't, but there's that opportunity for it rather than being told no.
And you can't say that
50K
it's
this
not
year.
possible. You know what I'm saying? It's so possible.
There's people doing it
You
everywhere.
guys, you guys have to have seen somewhere or something that this person is successful. Like, damn, like, they've done it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Well, it's possible. You can't say it's not possible.
Go to your Facebook, go to your Instagram, go to your YouTube, check who you're following, check like who you're subscribed to. Those are your examples.
Plain simple.
Those are your
like that.
examples, man. It's
Plain and
crazy.
simple.
It's crazy. But yeah, it's just there's gonna be a lot of other things. Sorry, I kind of got off track for a second.
Yeah, it's all good. We wrapped it up. We basically
Yeah,
did.
you have to
There's gonna be multiple other things, and we appreciate all the
love.
all the support. If you're not interested in the podcast, you may be interested in boxing. If not, then we got biking, we got gaming, we got everything. Eventually, we would like to, obviously the basketball too. I forgot about that. That would be cool to get some outdoor games in. Imagine we could do some like 3v3 tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want
Like,
to
opportunities are
You guys
endless.
want us to do some social experiments? Let us know. I'm
Cool,
down.
like cool videos. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, cool videos.
Like vlogs. I'm down to do anything, man. Seriously. I just wanted to say thank you for tuning into the first podcast. We got to explain a little bit what our goal is, what we're going to be doing, where this all I guess like originated from type thing. So thank you again for joining. Episode 1/60/30
/500.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Thank you for joining.
Give us some
Join
topics
OneThird.
in the comments below if you want.
Yeah.
OneThird.